Hi, ladies. Fiona May from Women on Transition. I've got my beautiful client, Carol, here with me today from Sydney. How are you, sweet?
I'm good, thank you, Fiona. Sorry, I'm a bit croaky, but I'm good.
Excellent. So, a few months ago, Carol, you found us.
Yes.
And tell us about your story, where you were, and how it was for you at that time.
I was in a really bad place. I just split up from a 12-year relationship, but I'm a bit impatient too. So it was only a couple of months down the track, but I really didn't like the way I was feeling, and I went along to the Sydney event. And I'm like, no, I have to do the program. I have to do a program. I need to do this because I knew that it was my issues were deeper than just the relationship breakup. I knew it was a lot about me,
Yeah.
without going into the history of my partner, but I knew there was more to it than that. And so there's lots of things that you talked about at that event that resonated with me that kind of said, oh, yeah, this program isn't just for women going through divorce and separation, although it's good for everything in life. And I needed to understand, I think, why I kept making the bad choices I was making in relationships and
Well, good on you.
hurting myself constantly. Yeah.
Good on you, because two things there. I'm really proud of you that you didn't stay suffering for years, because some women do. And the other thing is that you were brave enough to say, there's a common denominator here and I need to grow myself.
Yeah.
And, that's going to set you up for, a whole different future. So when you came into the program, how were you feeling about yourself, your confidence and your self-esteem?
I had
Yeah.
zero confidence, zero self-esteem, didn't see any future. Um, Men were all evil. I never wanted another relationship as long as I lived. All it's going to do is bring me hurt. And yeah, I was actually depressed. I'd been diagnosed with depression as well because I've been living in this state of anxiety and nervousness in my body for many years. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't in a good place at all.
Yeah. And what else had you tried when you came to the 3-day event, and what we said resonated with you?
Yeah.
What had you tried in the past and maybe didn't
I
as
yeah,
well?
I tried psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah, to manage it myself, to bury it deep, deep, deep inside.
Yeah.
Put a smile on the face and
Yeah.
keep going. I call it the Robin Williams syndrome.
Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Mm.
Yeah, put a smile on my face and keep going, and just try to pretend that everything was okay. Yeah.
That's what we find, that a lot of ladies, they come home from work at night, they're
Mm.
tired, they come home to an empty house, and they can finally take that mask off. But when they take the mask off, it feels so lonely and empty, and the house is quiet and there's not a whole lot to look forward to. And that's when the real despair sets in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was the shower for me. Let the tears
Yep.
out in the shower, no one sees, and then yeah,
Yeah.
off and yeah, let's pretend like it's nice. Because I think for me, I think I know I stayed in the relationship because of the familiarity, and I probably stayed in it 8 years too long.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Mm.
what did you discover doing the modules, doing the work, pulling back those layers and rediscovering yourself?
Um, that was a journey, I will say. Spent quite a few evenings on that kitchen floor there, crying like a baby, realizing how unkind I'd been to myself.
Mm, mm,
But putting myself through the suffering I'd put myself through. I learnt a lot about the childhood wounds and how
yeah,
it's impacted me. And I didn't dwell on that, but it was just like, okay, yep, understand that.
yeah,
The six human needs were a big one for me because I now understand, because my top two human needs are love and connection and significance. It helped me really understand why I'd been jumping from relationship to relationship.
yeah,
That lasted a long time, but it was all a quick succession in between, like 2 months, and I was with somebody else after
yeah,
12 years, because of that deep desire for love and connection. And I swore to myself I wouldn't do that this time. So
yeah.
it's been about 10 months. So that's going pretty good for me.
Good,
Um,
excellent. And what else did you, in that work that you've done, growing your emotional intelligence? So in that work, what did you discover about your relationship and your partner? And, what did you ever have the tools? Did anyone ever teach you how to be successful in a relationship?
No. I never had the tools, and I think it also taught not only having the tools. I think the tools are really important when you're with the right man.
Yeah.
Because you can have all those tools, and if you're with someone that's not right, there's many versions of what not right is: emotionally abusive, not grown up, man, child, whatever. Those tools aren't going to work, in my view, right? But if you find the right man and you use those tools, then I think that they will. And hard pill to swallow for me is for me, and whether I've got this right or not, but what I took away from it is the man can set the scene with the safety, but us women set the scene with continuing the growth of that relationship by how we're showing up, because we can kind of guide them a little bit. I don't know if that's a good summary.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. How you're showing up, like who you were as that woman who was needy and couldn't be on her own and needed to be in a relationship, and then stayed far too long and was disrespected and had no confidence, had no self-esteem. That woman was equal to the relationship that she was in. So who you are now that you've done your work, you're never going to choose that partner again, because you actually bonded over your brokenness with someone who could fill those voids, and you could fill his voids. And that's what brought you together. Whereas now you've changed, you've grown, you've healed, and you're at a very different place. So, where you go from here, it's like you're at a different level. This is where you were. You've gone up. So the partner you're going to get is going to be up here. And part of your, selection criteria is that he is emotionally healthy, that he is open, that he is prepared to navigate and work through the conflicts. And so these are things that are going to give you a very different quality relationship, because you're actually really different.
Yeah, very, very different. I think there's something you said earlier on when the program started, was once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's just like, it's so true. Like if I go back 12, 14 weeks ago, I couldn't have had this conversation with you without breaking down in tears. That's where I was. Yeah. And now I'm at a place where I can have the conversation. And even to the point, my ex actually texted me yesterday, and I'm like, that's your issue to deal with, not mine. And but I wasn't angry, I wasn't upset, I was actually shocked. But I'm ambivalent to him now, and I wasn't like that before. I was reactive. And it's just amazing, like that in-depth work that's been done, and that's just going through the program once. I plan on going through the material 2 more times, but I just needed a little bit of a break. Going through that once, and the difference that it's made to me is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's chalk and cheese. And like you said, we have blind spots. We do not know what we don't know. And that's why I'm so adamant that you've got to grow, you've got to learn, you've got to get these new tools and skills. But then you can't have them in your head. You've actually got to implement them into your life. And that's where the healing comes. So, when you heal, you stop overthinking. When you heal, you stop looking for everyone else to make you happy. When you heal, you take responsibility for where you're at in your life. And then as you move forward, you're going to make much better, smarter choices next time. I know that. You know that. And you know your own worth and value. So you're never going to settle for anybody who disrespects you again.
Absolutely. I think that was a big takeaway for me too, is not thinking that I was worthy or that I was enough. And I couldn't say that 14 weeks ago without crying, because I truly believed I wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I do usually look a lot better than this, but I'm sick and but it's not just about looks. I think I'm a pretty awesome person now.
And that's the thing,
reflection.
beauty comes from your heart. Beauty
Yeah.
comes from, you showing up as your best self, being kind, being compassionate, not judging, not living from fear. And we feel that, you can see that, you can feel it. It's not makeup that gives you that. It's that inner confidence and strength. And
Exactly.
that's what we gain when we go through the transitional journey.
Mm.
Ah,
No,
good girl.
it was
Super
amazing.
excited.
Yeah.
So tell me, like 3, 4, 5 months ago, what was your future looking like and what did you think it was going to be, as opposed to, what's that vision that you've got for yourself now?
My future, say 4 months ago, was just me and the dogs living a little hermit life, so we
Yep.
wouldn't get ever hurt again.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my this is it, and nobody loves me, and that now very different. Like life changes. I'm going to retire at the end of the year. Sorry, there's my dogs. Life changes there. I'm hopeful for the future that I am going to meet an amazing man.
Yeah.
And I feel happy within myself. Like I'm not scared of what the future's got to offer. Whereas before I'm like, what am I going to do when I retire? I'm like, actually, I'm good. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I can take care of myself, and when I decide to move where I want to move, if I want to get a little job to embed into that community and get to know people, that's what I'll do. But I'm actually not fearful, whereas before I wanted to kind of hide myself away.
I love it. I love it. That's exactly what I want for you guys. So, how did you enjoy the program, the coaching, the team, like having the girls around you? How was that for you?
Yep, I love that. I've got a couple of girls that we've caught up with
Yeah.
outside of the program. I think
Yeah.
the support on the calls is really good, and everyone needs to kind of have a bit of a lean into that, because
Yeah.
there is some people that are a bit more reserved, but I think you kind of need to lean in when you need help.
Yeah.
I love the program. I love how condensed it was, and I'm very much into that. Yeah. Self-driving, like really peeling back the layers. It's hard work. It's definitely hard work, but worthwhile, structured brilliantly. Like, hats off to you, Fiona. You've done an amazing job with the way you've structured it. It's
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited. What's important to me is to get you through this journey. And I know that, you've got wings now, you can fly. And, the world's your oyster and you can create whatever you want. You've got the pen in your hand, you're writing your next story. And I couldn't be more proud of you. So well done, miss.
Thank you. Thank you. The vision board's definitely working so far, so it's great.
Excellent. Well, you're graduated now, so I look forward to sharing and watching your journey over the next few years, and I have no doubt you're going to be amazing.
Great. Thanks, Fiona.